So there are some people who have amazing poker faces, and then there are some who just, you can read everything through them. Okay, so there's this lady, and I absolutely love her, and she is on the Blood Sisters and Blood Brothers Facebook group for all the MPNs, right? And she loves to play poker. And when she posts about it, every time I think, you know, bless her, she's amazing. I cannot spend 5 minutes in a poker game. I will throw the game so fast so I can get out of there. I have zero attention span for this stuff. No attention span, zero poker face. I would give it away in a second, and I'd probably be asking the person next to me, like, is this a good hand? Not my thing. But anyway, bless her, she's amazing. In the meantime, I found people who are on my equal grounds of poker face. Okay, so I'm only laughing right now because I'm so utterly stressed out. I will cry anything at this point, and I am giggling because I'm a freaking wreck, to be totally honest. I am just, do you ever just feel like a freaking wreck? Like, what next, right? So I'm wearing, the Evil Eye earrings. I made these, and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing these right now. I've had it. I had it. So I went in for my second stress test because I bombed the first, right? So it's something you can't really study for. I failed tests before. Cool. Let me study. Let me do better. Figure it out, and then you can pass. This one's not a study for situation. Anyhow, so I bombed the first. Second one, I go in and I have a mental thing like, I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna surpass. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna be like, so surpassing it would be like beyond 9 minutes. I think that was what I had last time. And I wanted to get the jogging portion and jog and run and just be sweaty and a nasty mess and just love it. I wanted that workout, and I was looking forward to it. Like, seriously, like, I'm gonna go work it tomorrow, right? Like the night before. So excited. Well, determined. So I get there. So then I go in, check in, I stand by the nurse's door, not realizing that I'm right there. And the lady comes out and she's like, Tara, and I'm like, ah! I had like a jump scare in the doctor's office, and I yelped, and it was just like, what is going on? Like, I'm just kind of losing it, right? So anyhow, I go back with her. She's super sweet, and she has an accent. I love accents. I have to admit, I do. Number one, if people have another accent, they speak another language, they're doing yours as a second language. They're smart. I love that. On top of that, it's awesome. I love them. Anyway, so she's like, come in. So I'm like, okay. Essentially, she says, I'm going to give you an echocardiogram. I think you've had one before. And I'm like, yeah. So I lay down. She does all the boop, 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 right? And so then she starts, and she just takes 4 pictures. She's really sweet, talking to me. And then she's like, okay. And so she explains that I'll go on the exercise thing after, and then I have to jump right back into that same position. And then she's going to scan again really quick. I'm like, perfect, we got this. And I prepared because I watch YouTube things if I'm going to do something, and I try and help others if I can't find one. One of those things, right? We all help each other. So anyhow, I was so lucky I prepared. So anyhow, she calls the other nurses in. So I got onto the treadmill, and they re-looped different wires on me, but I kept the other ones kind of like over my shoulder, and they're like, okay, you got to do this. I'm like, what about my oxygen? I'm always concerned because I think it reads wrong. Like, I don't know. That's a long story. Anyhow, so I'm on there, and I start going, and they're like, whoa, whoa. And this is like really fast into it. So they're like looking at each other. And I'm like, you know what, honestly, the main awkward thing is it goes so slow that it's annoying. If you could make it go faster, it wouldn't be such a pain, because I don't like that. Whatever level they have is the very awkward, annoying level, right? So they're like, yeah, we'll switch it up in a minute. And I'm breathing heavily and all that. Oh, one thing, she told me, you cannot breathe too hard on this one. You have to stop before you're out of breath, because I need the scan again, so you have to stop earlier. So I decided, okay, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna do so awesome, right? So I start going, and I'm, on that awkward thing, like, can you make it faster? This is annoying. And of course I can't breathe well, and I'm looking up, and they have this beautiful, beautiful thing. I love gardening, so they have it's a beautiful pathway, and it's like perfectly artistic with beautiful trees and bushes, and you're just like, oh, thank you, right? So I'm happy to do that, and then I love to jibber jabber, so I'm talking to them, and they're like, be quiet. Apparently, like, my oxygen wasn't doing well, so they were like, shut up, And then they're getting kind of heated, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, oh, something's going down. Like, this is fast. And they're like, look, this is what happened last time. Look, see? And she's doing this. This happened. And like, one lady's freaking out, the other one, and then the first echo lady is just like, and then one yells to the other, get a doctor. And I'm just like, I'm kind of like, holy crap, what the world is going on? So they get the doctor, and I'm thinking, my doctor's not here today. She's doing her thing. She works hard. She's everywhere else, right? So as I'm going, they have a guy come in, and he's like, I don't know about the heart and something, and I'm like, whatever. And I go to, he's like, why are you in here? Because, in the beginning, they thought I was 22. Compliment. But it was also, you look too young to be in here. And I'm like, no, I'm way older than that. I'm like a mom. I've got a toddler. I'm way older. Anyway, complimentary, but seriously not, because nobody cares. When you're not healthy, you just need help fixed, not depending on you're too young. Side note. Anyhow, so he's like, why are you here? Like, what happened to your heart? I'm like, well, I had a clot in it and blah, blah, blah. And then they look at me and they say, don't talk. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, and they're like, he'll look at your record. I'm like, And so I'm like trying to go, and I'm like, maybe I'm just running out of breath. I don't know if I was totally running out of breath, but I was like, what the hell's going on? To be honest, like, I better stop. They're all freaked out, like ghastly faces. They're screeching for the doctor. Super nice. They're so sweet, right? But like, I'm like, I am tired. This thing isn't going at a good pace. And I guess I surpassed my heart level a couple times, and they were like not happy. And the lady's like, you can get off. Again, I'm getting booted, right? They're sweet as can be. And I thought, that's it. And I said, what? I'm out of breath. Let's just go. So I go over, and they're yelling, get on your left side. Get on your left side. So I go jumping over, and she's jamming that. And you know what? An echocardiogram, people don't talk about that. And I don't know if it is for men, too. I'll just tell you because I'm a female. Jab your boob. It hurts. It is literally like a deep pain. Like, every time I have it done, I'm like, no. And it hurts for days after. So heads up on that. Side note, nobody told me. Sharing is caring, right? So anyhow, I go there, she's jabbing at it, and they're looking, and he's like, see, that's looking okay. He was saying my heart was pretty good. I'm like, can I exercise now? And he's like, and then he said something to them, like, I'm kind of obviously not existing in this position. I don't know why. I don't know what all went on. He had to go and look at my other stuff, or blah, blah, blah. The lady said, I said, so when he left, he was like shouting stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. So then we're kind of back, and I'm like, okay, so what do I do? And they have all this stuff on there, and they've still got to do the scan. She did the first one. They talked. He left. Then I stayed there for a little bit, and then she did another one. I don't know what happened, honestly, obviously, I guess. I don't know exactly what was found. The one lady said, we should have warned him. It was like last time. And I'm like, I don't even understand last times. Quite frankly. So I don't know. All I know is I have a repeat performance, and I'm kind of pissed because I didn't get a hit at even like slightly my goal. The whole time, doctor included, was 4 minutes. 4. Anyway, very disappointed. I know this sounds silly, but I really want to get exercising. And then the doctor's like kind of like almost chastising me for being out of shape, and I'm like, dude, don't even start. Don't even start. So essentially the nurses kind of had their own chitter chatter after he left. So she did the second one. And as they're doing it, and then finally I'm able to take the things off, right? They have like a bunch of pads all over you. And they do this weird thing. I should tell everyone, as a heads up, if you get a EKG where you're laying there, whatever, or this treadmill test, stress test. They do this weird spongy shavy thingy on you, and I'm not really like super hairy right there, not shave. It's kind of a weird feeling. Anyhow, heads up. So they pull all those things off, and the lady is like, echocardiograph people, or the people who do scanning, are usually the poker face people. Here's where you know they are not. She's like, I was so scared. And she's like, I was so scared, and I could see whoever, like one of the other nurses, she was scared. We were so scared. We thought we were going to have a... She yelled out, in medical terms, essentially heart attack. I wish I remembered the term. It must have been scary. I would hate to be in their shoes. The weird thing is, and this is where, I don't know. I feel like I'm having a heart attack all the time. I always feel like poo, and then I feel great. And I can't catch this, and this is one reason I am seeing a doctor. This is why I got my fancy watch. I don't ask for many things. I asked my husband for this, and he was surprised even because I'm not all fancy. But I needed something to watch my heart because I could feel this for so long. I don't know what it is either, and I feel bad that they got so scared. I go through this all the time, and then I feel fine. It's I don't know. I just need answers is the whole point. Answers and solutions. So I ended up kind of comforting her, like, don't worry, you know, I'm here. We're all good, you know. I'm just like, ah. So my next steps there were to essentially just ask for my snacks because I'm not leaving without my snacks. I had to like not eat or drink. I did have water up until the point, so like I'm all about snacks. And then I just kind of collected my stuff and went. We were all kind of frazzled and looking at each other like, what the hell just happened? And I was like, hey, is that it? And they're like, yeah. And it was just like a weird, surreal, it was a weird panic zone, honestly, like traumatic, strange, crazy, then surreal leaving. And then I just kind of went to my car like, what the hell, you know? And as I got to my car, it hit me. I was like, I just failed again. And it's like, what the hell? Like, this is my year to be healthy. I know, I keep going. But like, you know, I need a win right now. I really do. And I got like upset. So then I'm like trying to pull out. I did like a 50-point pull out because a big truck had parked behind me. And then I go on the road and I did a left-hand turn almost right into another car. Like literally my mind was gone because they kept doing, and there's a bunch of detours and I don't know this area that well. So I kept getting confused. It's like, where am I going? Get me home. And I almost crashed, honestly, and it sucks, and it would have been totally me because my brain was gone, and I nearly started crying. And I'm not a person who uses the phone in the car. I'm very like anti that. I was tempted to call and just start crying, but I didn't. So then I got home and I hugged my husband, I hugged my son. I tried to be in the moment with them. I felt sick as hell anyway. It's the day after my Pegasus injection. I usually don't feel super good, but I was lightheaded and just crappy, you know, doing my thing. Very emotional, like any talking, I wanted to cry. I'm just kind of in a cry mode lately, and I think I'm just stressed, distressed, the whole nine. So failure number 2, and who knows what goes on, maybe third time's a charm. And if there's a third time, I'm aiming for 10 minutes minimum. All health things and stresses and worries and weight on my shoulders aside, the good thing is I found some wonderful poker playing people for my wonderful friend. If she ever wants to know, they have my poker face. None. And I thought it was funny and sweet and endearing, and now we know who to play poker with. And I don't know. And that's my update, I guess.